日本147、ご訪問いただきありがとうございます。
Actually, a significant amount of people, and some of them very well respected in baseball, that think that Aaron Judge could lose the MVP. And I will tell you right away, that I'm biased because I see him every day. I don't see Ohtani every day. I don't. Which leads us into Diamond Notes. Brought to you by 2 by London, the engagement shop at London Jewelers. Ohtani is unbelievable. I don't know if we'll ever see this again in our lifetime. He's a unicorn. He's a great pitcher, and he's a great hitter. And doing it in the same year, the same person, is phenomenal. But you know that I do pay attention to words. And the name of the award is the most valuable player. And I'm going to tell you the pushback I get when I say this, too. How could you be valuable on a team that stinks? So if you took Ohtani off that team, they'd still stink. Well, if you took Judge off this team, it wouldn't even be a playoff team. Now, I don't know who you'd replace him with, but I don't know how many people that are out there that are 302 hitters with 54 home runs and 117 ribbies. And then the argument I always get, well, if you put Ohtani on the Yankees and Judge on the Angels, well, the Yankees would be really good, and the Angels would still be fourth place. We have no idea. That's all conjecture. All conjecture. Judge is on this Yankee team, and he's on a team right now where he is the only person out of 9 that actually hits. They would have lost their entire lead already if not for him. Ohtani is so fun to watch. And I don't want this to seem as if I'm disparaging what he's doing. There should be a separate award. Because if Ohtani stays healthy and continues to do this every single year, are you meaning to tell me that he's the MVP every single year? And one final thing. If you are going to give an MVP award to a team that's losing, that doesn't make the playoffs, now this is a sport where 6 teams in each league make the playoffs. 6 out of 15. And they're not even sniffing it.
Sniff them.
The only way you give an MVP award to a guy on a losing team is if his numbers are so far and away better than a guy who's on a winning team. Ohtani's numbers are not so far and away better. In fact, the religious stat that people in baseball use to evaluate players, Judge beats him in WAR, and that's combining pitching and hitting WAR. Judge beats him in WAR.
Well, that's what I was.
How is Judge not the MVP?
See, that's what I was going to ask you. How do you factor the WAR? Because I was just looking at Baseball Reference. His WAR is 8.1.
Right.
The Judge's 8.4, which is close.
Yep.
But that's for his offense, because he's got a 4.8 WAR as a pitcher.
No, that's combined pitcher and hitter, the 8.1.
Well, if that's the case, no, his WAR would be that low just as an offensive player?
Yeah. His combined WAR is less than Judge's WAR.
But more than double?
As a hitter, yes.
Wow.
Because,
listen, I know
you know
Judge
why? Everybody says, well, Judge doesn't pitch. Well, Ohtani doesn't play defense. So he can't get any WAR number with defense.
Well, first of all, what are they, 17 games under 500? It's not even a conversation to me. Because you just hit the nail on the head, Michael. So we're going to give it to Ohtani every year? Because I guess every year he's going to pitch and he's going to hit. Now, is he the best hitter in baseball? Not even close. Is he the best pitcher in baseball? Not even close. He's very good at both, but he's not going to win the Cy Young. He's not going to win a Silver Slugger, right? So the fact that he's very good at both is amazing. But are you going to give him the MVP every single year because of that? Look at the Yankees. Where would they be without Judge? Michael, you make the case that they may not have won in the few games that they have in the month of August and September without Aaron Judge. And they're trying to hold on to a division. The Angels, all right, so they're 17 games under 500. Without Ohtani, what would they be, 27 games under 500? Who would care? No one cares now. No one would care after. It's got to be Judge. It's not even a conversation.
Now, listen, I acknowledge it's Judge. Judge is the rightful MVP. I take no issue with that at all. He's been brilliant. I will say, I think that argument here, an argument I don't like here, is saying, so are you saying that if this is what Ohtani does every year he should be MVP? I don't think that should rule him out. If you believe, in fact, that what he's doing is MVP worthy, that shouldn't be ruled out just because it's what he does every year.
That's fair.
I don't like that argument, but I do like the argument of actual value to the team, because at this point, this weekend's such a great example. I mean, Michael, without Aaron Judge this weekend, the Yankees could be in a whole different level of trouble.
If he doesn't hit the home run yesterday, if he doesn't score both runs on Sunday, they might be one game ahead.
Exactly. So that's pretty tough to argue with. He's been incredible.
But also what he's doing, I'm telling you, I don't understand how any team is pitching to him. Walk him. Well, that's what Phil Nevin did. Why would you pitch to him? Nobody's going to hurt you behind him.
I mean, but that's kind of happening now, right? I mean, you look at the times, like the home run that he hit, the other, it's what was it, 1-0? I'm trying to think. Well, no, it was scoreless when he hit the home run on Sunday.
Yeah,
you got to pitch to him, right? I mean, you can't.
I wouldn't pitch to him. I can't even understand why he's only been intentionally walked 11 times. Even if it's scoreless, walk him.
It's a fair point as long as Stan isn't hitting.
Right.
Now, if Stan starts to hit, you can't do it because, Stan could burn you with a 2-run home run, and then what are you doing? But I do think you could pitch him differently, because, hey, if I walk him, all right, so what? Now, there's times where I guess the one home run he hit was 2-0. He made it 2-1. Those are the times you're going to pitch to him because he's not going to kill you.
Right.
But
the only reason you pitched to him yesterday, Don, is because Gleyber Torres got a hit in front of him, so you couldn't really pitch around him. And hit the 2-run home run and made it 4-2.
It's in every way, shape, or form. I know it's not sexy the way what Ohtani's doing is just amazing. I mean, you got to go back to Ruth. That's over 100 years ago. All right, so it is amazing. But to argue your point, Peter, about it's unfair to say give it to him every year, I think it's very fair because Judge doesn't pitch, and most people don't. So the fact that he's a good pitcher and he's a good hitter, so he's going to put up similar numbers every year. So are you going to give it to him every year because of that? And ignore the fact the guy might actually break the American League record for home runs, a guy that has carried this team for the last month and a half.
And do you realize he's leading the American League? And the number 2 batter for home runs is Ohtani with 32. By 22 home runs. Now, it's unbelievable. And then the closest to him is Schwarber. Last time I looked, had 35. He's blowing away the field.
Now, and now, if the Angels had been in first place, Peter, and you factored in that they played without Trout, well, then you can make more of a case from the valuable standpoint. Listen, what Ohtani's doing is sexy. I wish there was an award that you can give him every year for what he's trying to accomplish.
Should be the most outstanding player.
But I don't even know if you can even give him that.
He is. He's amazing.
But based on what Judge is doing, it's not.
Yeah, but what he's not doing is I think you undersell Ohtani as a pitcher. He's a great pitcher. He's not the best, but he's a great pitcher.
I mean, his ERA is under 3.
No, but he's really good at both. But my argument is, are you have him in the running every single year?
For most outstanding player, yes, absolutely.
Right, but if we're acting, why are we acting as if other players aren't physically capable of doing both? He doesn't have an extra limb. He is doing what he's doing. He trained himself to be here. He is capable of pitching and hitting.
Absolutely. And it is an incredible feat, but at the same time, does he have an arm like Judge in the outfield? Like Michael said, he's not.
Well, that's a fair argument.
No, so everything kind of comes where, like, Judge is an A+ fielder. He's got a gun for an arm. Now, he's a right fielder. Ohtani's a pitcher. So, but still, Ohtani is not the defender that Judge is. So when you factor everything in, plus the Yankees being in first place and what he's meant to the Yankees, as opposed to Ohtani's on a team that's 17 games under 500, and even the stat that almost guarantees the award, WAR, still goes to Judge. on top of everything that's going on.
Yeah, that would be my last card I'd play.
Yeah.
This is a sport that is driven by wins above replacement, how they judge players. And Judge wins that. Now, hey, Judge could have a terrible last 3 weeks and Ohtani could continue to roll and the war could go. And then you got an argument. But I would still go back. They're close enough that I'm going to give it to the team that makes the playoffs, not the one that doesn't.
And that's what ended up happening in 41.